time you have arrived, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby call on June 10th, 2024, a meeting of the Town of Hanson Planning Board to order at 6:30 p.m. I would also like to announce for those in attendance that this meeting is being recorded for distribution on the Whitman Hanson Community Access. Playback times and other related information on this recording can be found at whca.tv. Tonight's Planning Board meeting is being held at 542 Liberty Street in the Select Board Conference Meeting Room. With the call to order, all planning board members are present, as well as the full planning office. The first item of business on our agenda this evening, as a result of this being the first meeting after the town meeting and the reorg of the select board, is for the board reorganization in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 81A, and Article 2-1, Section 1A of the Hanson General Bylaws. With that, I'm going to hand the board over to our town planner, Mr. DeVries.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. As you stated, in accordance with Chapter 41, Section 81A, and Article 2-1, Section 1A of the Hanson General Bylaw, I am seeking nominations from the board for the position of chair for 1 year.
I'll nominate Joe Campbell, Operation Blue Belt.
So we have one nomination for Mr. Joe Campbell by Mr. Paul Beninato. Is there any second?
I'll second that.
Second by,
John seconded.
seconded by Mr. Ellis. I'd like a roll call vote, please, for the nomination of position of chairman for 1 year for Mr. Joe Campbell. Mr. Beninato?
Aye.
Mr. Ellis?
Aye.
Mr. Cohen?
Aye.
Mr. Kemet?
Aye.
That is a unanimous 4-0-1 vote for Joe Campbell as chairman. Mr. Chairman, I turn the meeting back over to you.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate your endorsement. I really enjoy being on the chair. I hope I can live up to the standards that you all expect and the town expects of me over the past year and moving forward into the next year. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll entertain nominations for the position of vice chair.
I'd like to make a motion that Kevin continue. Second.
Mr. Kevin has made a motion for Mr. Cohen to be our vice chair, seconded by Mr. Beninato. All those in roll call vote. Mr. Beninato.
Aye.
Mr. Ellis.
Aye.
I am an aye. Mr. Kevin.
Aye.
That's a unanimous vote, Tony. Thank you.
Who seconded, Mr. Beninato?
Mr. Beninato.
Thank you.
And our third position, gentlemen, is for the planning board's position of clerk.
Nominate King. Kim.
You nominate Kim?
No. Who's what? Nominate.
Mr. Ellis has a nomination of Mr. Beninato. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Cohen. Any discussion in regards to that nomination? Roll call vote. Mr. Kemet?
Aye.
Mr. Cohen?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Mr. Ellis?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We have a roll. With that, I'll close nominations. Is there a second? Or entertain a motion to close nominations. Second. Motion's been made by Mr. Ellis, seconded by Mr. Cohen. Any discussion in regards to that motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. Nominations are closed. Next item of business on our agenda is the planning board.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, Mr. DeFrace.
So, as we do every year after the reorganization, I have a form here for the land court and one for the Plymouth County Registry of Deeds, which is names and signatures of planning board members. So if you'd all care to sign your name next to the name
Your name.
on the form. I'd also like to congratulate the newest re-elected and youngest looking member of the planning board, Mr. Ellis, to another 5-year term.
That's right.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Also, if you'd like to, at this time, Mr. Chair, we usually have a vote by a majority of the board to give you permission to sign on behalf of the board. I don't know if the board wishes to continue that.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Mr. Kemet,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Cohen. Any discussions in regards to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, Tony, unanimous.
So again, sign next to your names, please, on both forms.
Any other administration, Tony?
Nope, I think it next obviously would be the,
Moving on, we have a 6:35 Planning Board Subcommittee appointments in accordance with Article 2-1 of the Hanson General Bylaws. Is there a motion in regards to our appointments, the board members' appointments to subcommittees?
A motion that we remain the same.
Motion's been put on the floor to remain with the same subcommittees. Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Ellis. Any discussion in regards to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The subcommittees will remain as they are. That's a unanimous vote.
Who is the second?
for the subcommittees.
That's all.
You should all use the same color pen, but that's just me.
Thank you, sir.
I'll make a copy of it.
There's one more.
Board members in the planner office, before we go on to our next appointment, I'd like to take an opportunity as a point of privilege, being in the chair position. I want to read into the record a statement that it is most unfortunate if any town citizens feel as though my appearance at the microphone during the Town of Hanson's May 6, 2024 town meeting by me as a citizen or as the attending planning board chair was anything but genuine and with foresight for not only the Town of Hanson, but as a message directly to the state legislature. We must remind one another that although board members who are appointed or elected to any board or committee in the Town of Hanson does not stifle one's civic rights at the door. The Town of Hanson Planning Board appreciates any feedback that comes inbound to the board, and as a direct result, the Town of Hanson Planning Office and the Town of Hanson Planning Board have worked together and adjusted protocols and policies that are on the agenda this evening to discuss, edit if necessary, and potentially vote on this evening to create and adopt the quote-unquote official Town of Hanson Planning Department policies and procedural final draft. Thank you for allowing me that time to make that statement. We have a few minutes before we go on to our approval of minutes. So you have items 1 and 2 in your packet for the May 6th and May 13th minutes. Time have arrived at 6:40. Any What's the will of the board in regards to the May 6th, May 13th, 2024 public meeting minutes?
May 13th?
May 6th and May 13th. You want to take them out of order?
You have to do one, each individual.
We can if you want. It's up to the board.
Motion to accept the May 6th.
Motion by Mr. Benonato to accept the May 6th minutes. Seconded by Mr. Ellis. I have a discussion topic that I would like to bring up in regards to that motion. If you will, please, gentlemen, if you go to number 3, board businesses, you'll notice there's an annotation about Mr. Kemet. Motion was made by Mr. Kemet to change Article 17 to the language read by Chairman Campbell. The motion was seconded by Mr. Benonato and carried. I would like for some clarification in regards to Mr. Kemet's motion, which I believe was only to endorse and support my change or my motion. I don't believe that Mr. Kemet wanted to change Article 17 to what I read, but it was instead to endorse, as it was said on the beginning of my introduction of a change that I was going to make and requesting support of the planning board. Mr. Kemp, do you recall if that was a change of Article 17 or if it was to endorse what I have the planning board endorse, what I had proposed as a motion on the floor at the mic?
I think the latter, you asked us to look at it, so I agree and made a motion. So the second thing you said was what
Is that the understanding of the board as well?
as far as I can remember.
Tony, is there any possibility we could clarify that?
We do have recording of that meeting.
Yeah. So I believe that in the spirit of what Mr. Kemet was putting forward, my recollection was just to have the planning board support my motion going forward, not to have the planning board motion that. That's why there was 2 reads of that article, so.
We can go back into the recording and verify.
Please do. So that's the only clarification topic that I needed to have on there. So there's a motion to accept the minutes for May 6th and seconded by Mr. Ellis. There's a discussion topic. Is there any possibility, Mr. Ellis and Mr. Benonato, if I can request your end of your motion for the edited minutes?
Yes, absolutely. Motion to approve pending clarification.
Seconded by Mr. Ellis. Any discussion in regards to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain since I wasn't there for the vote, but I was in support of the vote, but I wasn't at the location, so.
Great. Thank you. That would be a 401, Tony. So those minutes, once vetted, will be approved. What's the will of the board in regards to the May 13th minutes?
I move to approve the May 13th, 2024 minutes.
Motion was made by Mr. Cohen, seconded properly by Mr. Ellis in regards to approval of the May 13 minutes. Any discussion in regards to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Those minutes are approved. We have no public hearings this evening, so we're going to go right on to the 6:45 appointments. In regards to a 6:45 approval not required plan, an A&R plan for 61 Whitman Street, Assessors Map 106, Lot 11. Applicant, Eversource Gas Company of Massachusetts, plan prepared by Merrill Associates. So gentlemen, you'll find that as item 3? Item 3 in your packet. We do have a visit to this evening from,
Barrel Engineers and Land Surveyors, Rob Gugliotta, professional land surveyor for the record.
and you're signing as well.
No, I did not.
Right, so on your way out, make sure you sign the clipboard.
You got it.
So the time is 6:85, and the floor is yours, sir.
So, like I said, Rob Gugliotta, Barrel Land Surveyors, have a A&R plan here for 61 Winter Street, currently known as Assessor's Parcel 106, -11. This property is located in both the Residence A and Agriculture Recreation zones. It's currently the Eversource Gas built a compressor station, what I believe to be a compressor station on this site. The lot we are creating has adequate frontage and adequate area in both the zones that it is located in. It's going to be lot 1 that the gas company is going to retain. Parcel A, the rest of the parcel is to be conveyed to the town. Like rest contiguous land to that parcel. Happy to answer any questions if you have the frontage in the area to move forward.
Town planner, any comments, concerns?
I did go through the checklist. All the information required is on the plan. This lot, the board's probably very familiar with. The wetland line, so what you have is on lot 1, you have a wetland line that carries around here and goes behind the building. And that was flagged and approved, is that correct?
Yes, 2016, I believe.
And then the remaining land is all within a wetland zone. The wetland is right up against the road. So that parcel A it's all wet. And that is to be conveyed to the town to go along with this, I believe it's this piece right here.
All three of others to it
Yeah.
are owned by the town.
Yeah, so the town, the Conservation Commission was looking at this piece. And so it's gonna be conveyed to them.
Mr. Ellis?
The fence you have proposed on the plan, what type of fence is that?
That fence has been built.
Yeah, that's existing.
Is it?
It's
I haven't been
existing.
down there.
Yeah, this is all
Yep.
as built on this plan.
What is it?
Chain link.
Chain link fence,
How high?
probably 8 feet. It's a security fence for the gas company. It's all been approved previously. This is more of a, to kind of codify the gas company's lot and convey the rest of it now.
Yes, we already approved this, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah, so
Well,
this is
yeah.
more of a,
This is a section, this is a continuance of what they would have come back to us a few years back.
So you're just taking the, transferring the land around it?
Correct.
So
Yeah,
the
so
rest
the-
of this has all been
right,
flushed out?
Eversource will retain the lot with the gas equipment on it, and the rest will be conveyed to the town.
So was this built according to the plan?
As far as I know, all as-bills have been submitted.
Yeah, there was only one small change, and it was this was going back quite a few years back. There was a change to the original in regards to the amount of arborvitae plantings that had gone in, because it was on our original endorsement for that small lot. It was an overage, and as they filled in, they would have choked each other. So if I remember correctly, they came back, spoke with Planner Petty, previous town planner, and so just out of common sense, I've spoken with many of the abutters, and the area it's very nice. It was what was expected, so it does look really good. Mr. Ellis?
To you, to ask the town planner, what size of fence height-wise do we require for the solar panels? To incorporate a solar panel farm?
I would have to look that up. I don't know off the top of my head.
8 feet?
Is it 8 feet? Yeah.
Look, I don't know if it was 8 or 10 feet, that's what I was asking.
Recollection that it was 8.
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd hate to say this, but it's not really relevant to the Form A regulations, This is just cutting up the 2 lots. If we look at the Form A and what's required of the planning board and what you have to focus on, unfortunately, the fence would not be the issue.
Well, I'm just looking at this because of the safety factor, that's all. Some way things going nowadays, you go in there to do some damage, and that's a high-pressure gas lines in there.
Yeah, I think they've taken all that into consideration when you did it, right?
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's got CCTV down on it.
I believe so. I was not involved in the design of this project. All, like the town planner said, this is for just to create a lot. All as-bills have been submitted to the appropriate departments, but I was not involved in that part of the project.
the site that this is the other parcel that the site was created. It was kicked down the road for a while because of what happened up there on the North Shore, where there was, this.
Yeah, it was originally Columbia Gas and now it's Eversource.
But yeah, it looks really nice down there. They did a good job. And we have a copy of the A and R on file for the record.
Yes, we have the Mylar here for you to sign and also a paper copy.
What is the will of the board?
Motion to approve.
Motion be made by Mr. Kimball to approve the A and R,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Cohen. Any discussions in regards to that approval? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? 5-0, motion carries. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.
We'll take a brief recess, signature.
Okay.
Yeah. Please.
So you want it?
Now we can.
Thanks, Tom, conservation.
I think conservation stuff really has to go based on the entire lot. Conservation have closed the order and did it last week. Yeah.
Thanks, thank you. That's gonna be good for the town. Actually, it's October.
Oh, just like it. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, have a good evening. Well, these guys signed it.
Or also,
You-
there's one where I know like original and then the contract sheet, and then the water put the septic to change, so then it blocks, yeah.
Thank you for the brief recess, we're back in session. Appointment of 6:50, Master Plan, Old Colony Planning Council, meeting and update with Master Plan Steering Committee. Representatives from the Master Plan Steering Committee are here. Who wants the floor? All right.
Take it.
Sure thing.
Tony, do you mind if I put the master plan website? Or the whole master plan is also fine.
Yeah, okay.
So you want the website?
Yeah, if possible.
What was it, Rhiannon?
Oh, I could have, I did, I've got it.
You got it memorized?
Memorized. It's oldcolonyplanning.org.
Actually, hold on a second.
Got to meet the doppelganger Friday morning.
Megan. She's the best. She's way better than me. I'm the doppelganger.
Keep calling you, Megan.
Come on. Come on. Search.
It's roughly 100 without the appendix.
This other blanks.
So I just want to let everybody know that I updated the master plan to reflect where we're at. So we put a, like, call the action comment up at the top to let everybody know the final public event is June 20th. With a scroll to learn more. I love this video of town hall, but it does kind of make it look like the whole webpage before when you pulled it up, so I changed it up a bit. And then if you scroll down, we have the final workshop. It's going to be June 20th at 6 p.m. at the Hanson Public Library. It's going to be hybrid. The Zoom link will be posted tomorrow. I do want to note that it's currently being shared on our website in the email blast to everybody who signed up for updates. There will be a regular size printout at the library, and also working on them to get a like poster size. We can print it and put it up and display, but there'll be like a poster copy. And I sent out the JPEG for the flyer to all of the steering committee, so anybody's welcome to share. It can be shared with the planning board. If there are certain groups that you're in, if there's stores that you go to frequently that have community walls or community boards to post to. So the event will be in the middle of the public comment period, which just started a few days ago. It'll run through June 23rd, which is a Sunday. So you can download the master plan, you can view it right on the website. I also reached out to the library and asked if they wanted me to provide a paper printed copy to anybody who can't attend. The public draft piece, all comments for any public comment period are recorded. I wrote it in the notes, so that way everybody knows. I don't want anybody to be upset later if they find out that their comments are recorded. But everything can be emailed right to me. Of course, if Tony receives anything directly in person, then we'll just pass that along. And the event, the day itself, I'm planning on putting together posters that have the cover pages for all the chapters, which has that snapshot of data. It's got your local data, the purpose of the chapter, and your survey data. And I'll have that accompanied by the goals for the chapter. Obviously, nobody wants a live read of me for 110 pages of the master plan. I'm hoping people who are really interested will have read it before coming to the event. But this way it'll give us a snapshot of like, why do we come up with these ideas to start? What is the purpose of the chapter? What data did we use? And what were the final outcomes?
Could
So
I,
I'm hoping that'll be successful, and I'll let that be hybrid. Yeah.
could I just add a couple of things? I've also added this to the planning board webpage.
Oh,
And I've asked that this be put on the Hanson webpage and on social media pages. The flyer is going to run for 2 Thursdays in the Whitman Hanson Express,
oh, great.
and they even sprung for color, so this is going to be expensive. And I also have 3 paper copies here if anybody's interested.
Oh, thank you so much.
I just wanted to throw that out there, so.
Yeah.
And this event will be, for the planning board, it'll be posted as an agenda,
Great.
with an agenda.
It's a Thursday night.
Yes.
You guys have a special meeting that Monday night, right, in town?
There's the, yeah,
17th.
That
yeah,
week,
it's the
yeah, I was
17th.
planning dates and that was flagged to me.
So I'll post,
Super board.
I'll post this, and this will be the agenda item.
Yeah, and I'll make sure it's with the council on aging too. I'd like to have the paper flyer there if people are in and out. And if anybody has any other places that we think specifically should be. I will say we did flyering for the first time. Everybody who showed up only showed up because of word of mouth or because we talked to them while we were out doing other events and things.
Yeah.
So my big thing that I really wanted to talk about while we're here with the planning board is obviously the time that the steering committee has put into it. They've read every chapter. They've had to read a few of them more than once because of my rewrites. They'll read it again during this public comment period. Obviously, it's on the planning board to pass it. If there's anything that you're even remotely worried about when you read through, if you can flag it to me, preferably before the public meeting, like if you think something's going to be worrisome or you think I should have more information on something, you guys know more so what might pop out to residents than when I read it. So just let me know those things. Some people already did. I've worked on some things. I've edited some things since receiving a few comments. If there's other things, just giving me a heads up is super helpful because like we're coming at it with only the information we have, right? And that's not the lived experience of being a resident. And all of you are lived residents in town. So if there's any feedback you could provide. Also, if the planning board could give their feedback by the end of the public comment period, the June 20th. There's things that are conditional upon approval. Our contract does end June 30th. And that's a Sunday. I will work a Sunday if I have to, but if you guys tell me the 20th, that does make sure that I don't have to work a Sunday.
So are you hoping, if I may, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're hoping on the 20th that the board would vote to support the master plan as it's written?
Or let me know what needs to be changed in the next week.
Okay.
Obviously, if there's a whole thing you want to throw out, try to let me know a little bit before, a week before, but if there's phrasing, if there's a suggestion that doesn't work, if during this time period you guys started another project and you want a little write-up, that tends to pop up too, right? Like, new projects jump up that haven't been previously addressed, please just let us know, so that way.
Because they could vote to support either the 20th or the 24th, which would be the next.
Yeah, the 24th would be
Okay.
fine. I mean, I'm sorry, can you hold the calendar for a second? I'm following your screen.
24th would be the Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. So the public comment period goes until June 23rd, which means that somebody could request a change up until the morning of the
Yeah.
24th.
17th.
What's the next planning board meeting after?
24.
24th. After that would be July 8th.
Okay. Let's see how you guys feel over the next few days. Take a read through it. If there's a huge issue, shoot me an email.
I really appreciate the graph about the median income, because we have a lot of folks that are not understanding that median or slash affordable. I think it's really imperative that we have that in there, so I really like to see that, because a lot of things we're talking about now, say affordability, people don't understand that.
And they're used interchangeably between
Right.
like the state definition and then what affordability means.
Immediately the same. Affordability, that must be section 8.
No, yeah. Yeah, we did add a little bit more context from the first draft of the housing chapter about what it really takes to do housing, what that state and federal funding looks like.
You've included in here, section of Bryanville. I've always thought Bryanville would be more Pembroke. What does Bryanville end? It's most of Pembroke.
It's all in town.
The corner where the Bryanville pizza.
Yeah, it goes just beyond that gas station.
Yeah, I think the pizza side is Hanson was across the street is Hamburg. Just judging from the signs. So I'm not sure.
You go around the corner, first house, I think it cuts, and going down that piece of street, it cuts there, to the left of the Hanson, and right, Pembroke. And then it comes across the street,
Yeah.
the back of the diagonal on Union Street.
It's a very, very tiny portion of Hanson.
Do you think it's worth maybe merging it into a different?
No, I think you should leave it like it is, because all you actually advocate is that we communicate with Pembroke
Yeah, I saw that.
to improve the intersection.
Yeah.
Who cares? I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So the point of the whole pond is in the top of Hanson. Whole pond is, you know, right at the frontage of, Indian Head.
Oh, they need that project,
The
right?
whole pond is,
Right.
it doesn't go through the middle of it.
Hanson owns to the water line,
Yeah.
on the entire pond.
It's right to the water line, yeah.
Yep.
Hanson.
Any question or comments
And
from the board?
Pembroke as well.
Mr. Kelly?
So just please email me, please read it. I want it to be an instrument that you guys use as well. I know Tony and I have talked, and even the planning board has talked about how plans become paperweights.
They can.
I've put a lot of personal work into it, my team has put so much work into it, the board has, we want to make sure that when you look at it, it's something that you feel like you'll use, it's something that, like you even said, like some of the graphics, right? If they help you educate conversations and move forward, it's what we're looking for, so.
We do, unless you already have it, please. If there's a reference in here, is there a reference where somebody reading this, if if they wanted to see a larger or more cleared version of the graphics, that they could go and reference that, like, a lot of our zoning maps are upstairs in the conference room. So I didn't know if there was, if somebody, if we could make a reference somewhere in here.
I mean, I can make printed copies, like update the posters that you guys have upstairs from your last plan.
Yeah.
We can make a list of those and I can get printed copies that can be
Just make a
displayed
reference and
here.
say all, you know, any of the graphics that need a further look, go here.
Yeah, absolutely, okay. Reference to where
Or if you
full-size
even-
maps can be found.
The sidewalk, that sidewalk map is,
Or if you send me a link,
Tony,
can just-
put it on the
you can
website.
just put it on the website. That sidewalk map is something we already have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was converting that.
Yeah, 'cause it's a P-
Computer
it's a
long
PDF,
time, and
yeah.
it still came out weird. And we have the right technology to do it too, and it still came out weird.
Yeah.
So can I ask a question?
Make all link references at the Venus.
So we're planning on doing an appendix that'll have a resource page too. So what I'm working on, well, you guys, this is your assignment for the next few weeks. My assignment is the acknowledgement page of the appendix.
Perfect.
The appendix will have a resource page which will include all other plans that are cited in this, where you can find them. I'll include the maps in
I see.
that.
Mr. Kevin?
I just had a quick question. I know we're gonna approve this plan, right? And we won't be looking at it again for another 10 years from the perspective of rewriting it. But things are gonna happen in between then. And, you know, it just seems like we created this plan 10 years ago and all kinds of things changed, but we never updated it as an ongoing thing. But has that ever been done?
We talk about master plans as a living document just because we know that goals of towns change. It's rare that towns will go through and like rewrite the actual text. I will put together, there's gonna be an Excel sheet that'll be sent to you soon. And it's all the goals that are at the end of each chapter and their actions and the objectives of who they should be carried out by and funding sources. That I'll send as not just a PDF, but also an Excel to Tony. So that'll be a really quicker way to tabulate what's been done, what isn't being done over time, and maybe what changes. I don't have any, I mean, if you guys want paper again, I'll rewrite it next year, but.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, like, it's a good way to bring it back up again as a subject. You know, like, if something in the master plan changes and someone's aware of it, then if they come to the planning board, you know, let us know that it's been, that item is taken care of, then
Yeah.
we should update the plan at that point.
Appendix.
or an addendum.
Addendum, yeah.
Something.
we can list
Yeah.
addendums and
So
decide.
that way, you know, I know that all the copies that are out there in the ether aren't gonna change, but at
Right.
least the ones on the website and our level of awareness will be that, okay, we've completed these tasks that, you know,
So I guess that becomes a housekeeping management type of deal if we keep track of it.
yeah.
And then just, yeah, we could do an addendum and say, you know, this item has been addressed.
And related to this, at the end of public draft and getting this written and ready to print, we'll meet with the steering committee again and talk about how they want to move forward as an implementation committee. Issue with the steering committee, the residents are really behind it, it gets written, but then if there's nobody that's checking in with the town to enforce it, it can become kind of stagnant in progress, or that the community just isn't aware of everything that's happening, which is so common, right? Like when you go through a master plan 20 years ago, you don't realize that a lot of the things we wrote down are things that did actually happen. So I think looking for an implementation committee that maybe reports every few months at the planning board or in an interdepartmental meeting, something that can keep it up to date.
Do you happen to have a list of, hey, 10 years ago, this is what your goals were, and you've actually accomplished these goals? Have you been able to compare what you're doing now to what was done and figure out what goals, if any, were achieved through the previous master plan?
I remember doing it, I'll find it.
Okay.
I will find it.
Because that'd be either,
But, yeah,
it'd be nice to either add into it or just
It's the last one, 2006.
2000, what was it?
16, I think.
Yeah, 15?
15, okay.
Yeah.
15.
Any questions or comments from the steering committee?
No, wait. Is it longer than that? It's not 2008. Yeah, it's 2008.
I was saying, I thought it was before 2010.
Yeah, 2008.
2008, okay.
Yeah, it's overdue. I'm sorry.
It was 15 years, that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things I had mentioned when I came here. I'm like, yeah, your master plan's like way out of date.
Not as bad as some of the neighbors.
So we have some homework to do for the
20th,
20th.
yeah. So if you, so the 20th, if you could, you tell them, yeah.
Yeah, we got.
So if you can have comments to me by the 20th via email or through Tony, that can be passed on to me if you decide to print and write up a copy. That way, when the public comment period closes on the 23rd, I can make sure that there's anything else that hasn't been addressed from your edits. And then we will do our best to do a quick turnaround for the 24th, or maybe we can do maybe like a conditional, if we have to, depending on how many changes you find. We can always talk about doing conditional approval upon A through E being completed.
So we have an expectation for the
24th. I'll have
24th for
draft.
approval from the planning board? Great. As always, appreciate everybody's time. Thank you for putting this together. It's been a great effort. The town might not put it up in Billboard, but we'll say thanks. So we'll see you on the 20th and on the 24th.
Thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If I don't get an email from you, I will email you.
Then you know it's awesome.
I know it's awesome. I read it a few times now.
Have fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Moving on for board business. Next up on board business, review of open meeting law guidelines and procedures. Tom Penn.
I just wanted to pass that along to the board. Just 940 CMR, so all members of the board, if you could just please read through those again, you know, just as a refresher. Make sure y'all understand it. If there's any questions that we need to maybe either send to town council or have them come in or anything like that. But I just want to have the board, just as a refresher, look at the regs, go through them, you know, understand them. So that way, the board understands what needs to be done. It helps me if you see that, hey, I missed something, it needs to be addressed, or vice versa.
Tony, can you check with town clerk just to make sure that we're all in compliance with the OML class?
Okay. Yeah.
And if we need to update, I believe that I need to take the class again. Then definitely ask if she can send out that link to be able to take that.
It's number 2.
Yeah. I think I'm coming up on my expiration.
That's
You just one for the school, Joe?
going in anyway.
Yeah. What's that?
You did yours for the school, right? Because then you only have to do it once.
Yeah, I can't remember when I.
You can download
I
it.
think I did it both at the same time. Same night. Yeah, I did it both the same night.
Because you only have to do the education part of it once.
When we going to get
Copies? Oh, Tony's got a few of them.
What about the handbook?
Final draft one?
Yeah.
This is just a rough draft one. So if we approve this, then we'll go forward with it.
I used to talk different, he's on the handbook.
What?
The handbook.
Oh. So moving on to the agenda, so definitely, we're gonna review OML and make sure that we're in our compliances. Moving on, we have, next item of business for board business, approval of the planning department policy and procedure handbook dated June 1st, 2024. Town planner.
So, Kim has done a great job of putting together the policies and procedures manual that has been, the board has taken a look at, reviewed. I think we have a total of, 166 pages there of information.
Yeah.
Everything from putting in warrants, turnovers, agendas, open meeting, just about everything you need to figure out or how to do something within the planning board.
Do we need to adjust anything as far as this video aspect that just got voted in?
Well, I think if you go back, Mr. Chair, it's and or.
Yeah.
So the board can, as far as the meetings are concerned, they can video and or audio. So right now, we're in compliance because you are doing audio. If you want to go to video that's something we could definitely look at. But so, I mean, this is going to be what you'd call an organic document. So what we'll do is we'll schedule it that, bring it to the board once a year, or make any changes as necessary during the year if something comes up that needs to be changed or added, or removed, if the policy of the town itself changes. It talks about applications, we have list of applications, the fees, purchasing and billing. So there's some things that might change over time, like say fees or the applications themselves, once the town, or just say the board, excuse me, maybe starts to take a look at revising the subdivision control law. So it's
detailed, it's very detailed.
yeah, I mean, my first day here, when I arrived, there wasn't anything to go by. And starting day one, I started putting together information to figure out if there's ever a situation where there's a lack of personnel in that office, or a new person comes in, they can pick up this and look at it and have at least a good starting point.
Is he trying to tell you something?
It's nice because you got all the timeline information in there.
Yeah, we have everything regarding,
OCPC.
OCPC, zoning, we've tried to tackle everything that we sort of deal with on a daily basis. And this started, back again, day one, when Jill was in the office, and Kim has picked it up and done a fantastic job of putting it together.
Is the intent to have this printed and bound?
The intent is
For
to,
everybody, or?
if you each would like a copy, we can print it and get you each a hard copy.
Yeah.
I will be filing, I spoke with the town clerk and asked her if she wanted a hard copy for her files. She said she does. So if you vote to approve this tonight, a hard copy will be filed to town clerk, so we'll keep that on file.
So can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I haven't fully read this document, to be honest with you. So I wanted to find out if there's anything in there related to, like, if we have a conflict resolution policy for, like, if we disagree with something, or, we've had circumstances in the past where people said stuff. So as a policy, is that covered in this document?
No. This is more of a technical book, if you will,
How the offices.
how the office is run.
That would come more under, what we adopt, whether we adopt Robert's rules or town meeting time. Robert's rules is what we.
So this isn't really a policy document, it's just, this is a procedure.
Policy and procedures of how Tony's office is run.
What's the title on it?
That would be more like Robert's rules.
So, I mean, so how do we address that? Because I think that's as important as this, and it should be referenced in this, because, realistically, if the new person comes in and the first meeting he shows up to, there's some big controversy that happens, he's looking like, what the hell do I do now? There should be, like a policy of, a grievance policy or something, if one member has an issue with the rest of the board or something like that. How is that supposed to be handled?
Yeah, I think right now, if there's a difference during a meeting, certainly it would defer to Robert's rules. Maybe we should make a declination in the policies and procedures that the town of Hanson's planning board, adopts, and we all vote on that, adopts that
Right,
Robert's
so
rules. Why don't we just reorganize?
Yeah, I'm just saying, this should reference whatever policy that we go by to settle anything that may be an issue with this board, right? Say somebody from outside files a complaint, right? How is that handled? Should it be in the policy manual? That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah,
It
so,
seems like one of the reasons why I thought that we were writing this document was so that we could clarify those things, or at least, reference the proper people to go to get the answer that you need. Like, if a person comes in and says, I got a problem with you people, what's the policy?
yeah, well, we've got that. As far as OML goes, there's an OML violation procedure that they could file for. As far as an ethics issue, if they thought there was an ethics violation, they would file with the Attorney General's office for state ethics. OMLs would immediately come to the board and the town clerk. Ethics goes straight to the state. I mean, hopefully somebody would have enough fortitude to come into the town hall and talk with the town administrator, I would think.
So is that a big deal to add that in there? I'm gonna ask you.
I'll do whatever I can do.
Then you got the court systems that make changes
Yeah,
too.
appeals. As far as ourselves, I think we can make an official motion that we, for the next year, adopt Robert's rules as our, official guidelines. I don't think we've ever done that.
Yeah.
That actually would be too bad.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, I think, we've had issues in the past, and it seemed that we struggled to come up with, what are we supposed to be doing when this happens? And,
I,
You gotta change Don's timeframe out there.
yeah,
Is it 2029?
yeah.
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
No, I understand what,
Doesn't sound so good.
I understand where Mr. Kemet's coming from, and we could add a section that deals with that, that would explain how to deal with public records requests, open meeting law complaints. Yeah, we could look at that. Yeah.
and because you kind of, you've got this, right? And so the two of them could kind of go together, and at least it reference this or something,
Yeah, I mean, we can,
Open meeting laws is in there.
What's that?
The open meeting laws verbiage is in there.
OML's in there?
Mhm.
can you call that
It's not a chapter, it's a
It's a reference?
reference.
at the, towards the bottom, right? Just,
On,
There it is.
where-
Page 4.
so I guess we do have it in there, but let's say not a direct chapter, if you will, that's tell you but if you follow this does tell you what you need to do. But we can add,
maybe pull it out, put it in.
yeah, we could still have this, but maybe have a chapter with some clearer information, say something you're gonna deal with more on a daily basis than the whole lot, so.
Because it's kind of better than trying to flush it out, mid-crises, it's like you already got it in the document.
Mr. Ellis?
Yeah, in there, I went through a little bit of it today, I didn't go through the whole thing. It was in there about, something about you can recall a person if it's, and I think it's a bylaw anyway in the town, or if you miss 4 meetings in a row. What if it's a health problem?
It says
Is there
with
a
cause.
fixture
Yeah,
in
it's gotta
there
be for cause.
Yeah, it says with cause.
It has to be for cause.
for cause?
For cause, yeah, it's 4 meetings in a row, full cause. Like John's referencing, you're dismissed for cause.
Oh, okay.
No, you're in for that one, Steve.
Yeah,
But he was having health issues.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of drawn out with that.
I don't think it was in there before Steve, I think it came after that.
I think it happened as a result of.
2017? Yeah, I think that was part of the result.
So,
Okay, so-
I mean,
Yeah, we can,
I don't think you were here at the time, but we had somebody who wasn't showing up to meetings fairly regularly. So, I think that's something that should definitely be in this chapter created. What's our policy if someone doesn't show up for, 6 weeks, or, how do we vote, how do we handle that?
Is there any reference to the new stipends we're supposed to get?
there is a reference to beer money.
Only the chairman gets
Maybe,
the Joe, only the chairman gets the stipend.
So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can add that.
Any other references, gentlemen, or any other questions or comments? With that, the chair would entertain a motion to approve with amendments for the planner office to proceed and continue with the finalization, printing, and distribution of the planning department's policy and procedure handbook.
Hold, Mr. Chair, Would the board like to do that tonight, or would you like to see the amendments and then do this on the 24th?
That might be a good idea.
Okay.
Has everybody read it?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I read it somewhere.
So, someone's good.
Because he emailed it Friday.
But if you want, we can postpone.
Yeah, I'd like to see the language in that.
So I'll rescind that. Chair entertains a motion to postpone until June 24th.
Second.
Motion been made by Mr. Ellis,
All right.
Second.
seconded by Mr. Cohen.
Sorry, I know you wanted to put. a
Any
poll on
discussion in
that.
regards to that motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries to continue to 6/24. 6/24/24. Also with that, gentlemen, as we're on policies and procedures, I'd entertain a motion that the Town of Hanson Planning Board adopts for the next 12 months the reference for all meetings to be by Robert's rules.
So,
Motion's been made by Mr. Kemet,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Cohen. Any discussion in regards to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So Tony, in that policy, you could say that tonight that we officially motioned Robert's rules in.
Okay.
Next up, we have some information coming in from the ZBA office. Zoning application, applicant for special permit filed under section 6.h subsection B and section 7.1 subsection D of the Hanson zoning bylaws by Matt Wood for operation of a coffee shop at 999 Main Street, map 44, lot 10. Any questions, comments, or concerns, gentlemen, that you want to pass on to the ZBA?
Yeah, this is for Restoration Coffee. They have another place, I believe it's in East Bridgewater.
Who's 99?
The one in Whitman.
That would be,
Wetland Center.
Being built.
it's the one that's being currently built.
You know where High Street is?
Oh, is that the new building? That's right. Oh, okay.
So this is the, I believe, the second business we've gotten for this location.
Chair would entertain a motion to favorably pass on to zoning board of appeals.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Bernardo,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Cohen to favorably pass on to zoning board of appeals with no comments, concerns, but a thanks and promotion of economic development. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0, motion carries. Town planner update, town planner.
Okay, first thing we have is invoice to be paid to Verdantis for the amount of $4,607. This is for the starter home district that they're working on.
Do I have to sign this? No?
Any questions, comments, or concerns in regards to endorsement of $4,607? Back at 24128 from Verdantis in regards to the starter home district feasibility study.
It's just a study for it.
Yes.
That's it.
The second item on the update is the High Street Park. I've put it up on the webpage,
Thank you.
so it's up on the planning board webpage. If you'd like to go take a look, there's basically like one of the sheets gives everyone the general idea. Also asked that it be put up on the social media pages. I believe that the park committee may be meeting in July.
No, I think we'll be at the end of the month.
End of the month? Okay. So I think I've had an invite to that meeting, so I'll be attending that. Next item is the one-stop grant. So the deadline was June the 5th?
I'm sorry, can I go back for a second?
Sure.
Just 1 second. On the High Street Park thing, right, is there gonna be a stormwater management review of the plans, or has that already been done?
There has not been a stormwater management review of the plans. I mean, they have designed everything to meet the stormwater guidelines,
Okay.
but there has not been any peer review of that as of yet.
So, I mean, for our sake in general and the town, right, I think it would be a good idea to have somebody bless this thing, you know, like an independent personally.
Well, the,
Or is that too much?
well, the committee is getting an earmark. I'll let Mr. Ellis speak to that, what they're gonna do with the money.
Well, yeah, the engineer drew it up with stormwater management in mind.
Hmm.
All the drains and the retention areas designed by them. So I assume, there again, that it gets done correctly. That's why you're going to be reviewing everything.
But this is what I would envision in my mind, is because, we expect everybody else to have their stuff peer reviewed, when we're doing something like that. So I just want to make sure that, we're doing the same thing that we would ask other people to do.
Right.
And so, as long as we have a peer review document to review and vote on, then we know, it's been looked at, it's been done, it's been planned, and it's also been reviewed by somebody, so then all they have to do is vote. Is that true?
When do you expect the final to come into the planning board?
I think you've got a full set of plans now, correct?
It's already been endorsed.
But we just haven't come to this point to, we finally got to be able to take a vote of the committee to present it, to go ahead and present it to the planning board, the town planner to the planning board to review.
But that's all we're
I
reviewing,
talked-
is stormwater management, right? Because there's nothing else to review on the planning other than the stormwater management plan.
The road.
Correct.
Look, yeah,
The road.
yeah. Well,
Plan-
not necessarily the road, but
Yeah.
whether it complies with stormwater management, whatever that may be, and however it was
Right.
designed, right? So that's the only thing that we're looking at. I just want to be clear on that.
Yeah, the planning board, I think you would endorse the design. And you would approve the stormwater management because stormwater, they are disturbing greater than an acre, and the stormwater management falls under the planning board's purview for that.
Right.
So you would approve, you would provide your approval for that, and then you would, let's say, support or endorse
So,
the
yeah,
design.
That's a better, we're only supporting it, we're not voting.
Correct,
for
because
anything
technically,
related.
because site plan review does not fall under the purview of the planning board.
Right.
But the design, the drainage does fall under your purview.
I talked to town council about it a long time ago, and Kate said that you have to do it the same as a regular subdivision. The town has to have an approved, signed plan, and it's brought to the registry, and it's recorded.
So if we go that route, then it would be a public hearing
Right.
process, just like a subdivision. So that's what, I'll confirm, as they say.
In the
Trust and
meantime-
verify, the word, phrase.
Have it verified.
So what do we do about a peer review? Who's paying for that?
So between now and the 24th, you want to reach out with an RFQ to get some quotes for what peer review would cost for stormwater management?
Yes, I can reach out.
So when we get, what is it, 3 quotes, and we get selected?
Yes.
So,
It'll be a case of, yes, I'll have to figure out who's paying for it.
Okay.
Because our budget, I think there's only about $1,000 for that, and I think we've used some of it. And I'm not sure what they would charge.
floating ARPA funds. Hello,
Hi,
how are you?
you the only guys here? I'm trying to get a dump sticker.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't seem to be anybody around anywhere.
It would be tomorrow, late hours are Tuesday evenings, miss.
Oh.
Yeah, so it'd be tomorrow during the day from 8 to 5,
Perfect, thank you.
or tomorrow night. Thank you. Yeah, so we can get,
So,
at least we can get.
yeah, I'd get some
on what it
quotes
costs
from-
for peer review.
Yeah.
Right, great. MBTA zoning, town planner?
First, I'd like to just touch on the one-stop grants.
Oh, I'm sorry,
So-
skip right over that.
There was a deadline of June the 5th. I was able to submit 8 grants for 2025. Total of the grants is just under $2.4 million.
Oh, nice.
Um,
One stop, right? So what's that, platform? Things that Tony supplied.
So, one of the grants is for Hawks Ave. The building closest to Hawks Ave has an underutilized building to try and get money to basically I'm gonna use the term renovate that building or bring it back to something that can be used.
As you drive down Hawks Ave, the building on the right.
As you drive down Hawks Ave, the first building at the end of it, on the left. There's two buildings there.
The blue building or the brown building?
The building closest to Hawks Ave. So when you get down to the end of Hawks Ave,
Yep,
there's a building right there,
yep,
that one.
okay.
Then there's one behind it.
Yep, yep, yep.
There's a second grant for Hawks Ave as a result of, we have a current grant, a Brownfields grant. They did some site assessment and test pits in the wooded areas that the town was donated. They did find some chemicals in the ground near the buildings, not in the wooded areas. The wooded areas are fine. What they've tested has come up fine. Just some areas around what would be the back building, the one furthest from Hawks Ave. So that area needs some additional cleanup, and so this grant would be used for that. I don't really want to, because this is not a focal point of the agenda tonight, I'm not going to get into more than that. We can make it an item on the agenda if the board would like more information. Another grant is for site development, similar to what is being done for West Washington Street adjacent to the water. But this is for 212 Industrial Boulevard, which is the last lot in the industrial park, to see what could that lot yield. The next one is 228 High Street. I had applied for this one last year. This is for the front building only, the one closest to High Street. Underutilized property to try and get that renovated. Pursuing funds for the housing production plan. Pursuing funds for the open space and recreation plan. Pursuing funds for the sidewalks along Main Street from High to Monpont, which is basically the plans that were done in 2002. Hire a consultant to bring those back to life. And the last one is for a feasibility study on a 40R district overlay, or say 40R overlay district along Main Street, or maybe on top of our flex overlay zone, because our flex overlay zone in essence is very similar to a 40R in its design, but there is no affordable housing aspect to it. So it's just to look at that. Now again, these are 8 grants that went in. Have no idea what, if any, we'll get. Obviously, compliance with the MBTA will play a part, I think. Could play a part before the end of the year with these. But as we know, at least to this point, it could definitely play a part after the 2nd of January 2025. But at least at this point, they're in just under 2.4 million. See what happens. And one quick one is Pratt Place. We're moving forward with that one using the ARPA. We've sat down with the engineers on that, so that's going to move forward, and I'll have more information on that. At some point, I'll probably have some paperwork or plans to show the planning board, and maybe I can get one of the members from Verdantis to come in and do a presentation.
Yeah, what would be great is also if you add that Pratt Place project to the website.
Yeah, once we get something that can be, we can add to that. One last quick thing is the Cannabis Control Commission has come up with new regulations. We're going to be I'm going to have Liz Linden of Town Council's office doing we'll say a little presentation, if you will, a discussion with the board in the first meeting in July to go over what the CCC has proposed, and the changes, and how that affects Hanson. And at this point, that's all I have for the board.
MBTA zoning?
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, MBTA zoning. I've had a meeting with Katie Lacey and members of Old Colony Planning Council to examine, let's say, creating some informational packages, if you will, to try and engage the public and present factual information as to what is required of the town. So I'll have more to come on that. That's it.
We have, any questions for the town planner? We have on our agenda that the tentative next scheduled date for a planning board meeting will be on June 24th. Gentlemen, I'd like to amend that, if there's any possibility, if on the 18th, out of respect for the planner's office already being on schedule, on the 18th, that we have a quorum that could attend a Zoom meeting. So we're going to do that remote. As long as we have a quorum, I think that we could have our meeting, and that agenda and information would come out. I'd like to take a vote for next planning board meeting to be scheduled for June 18th via Zoom.
The whole thing, Zoom?
Well, Tony will be here. Tony will be in the office. I'm just trying to call a meeting that's going to be respectful of the planning office that they're able to attend.
I have trouble seeing.
We,
I don't know why, but I do.
we could accommodate Mr. Ellis. We could accommodate Mr. Ellis
Yeah,
here.
remote or in person, if you want to commit to the planning office.
Yeah.
There's no big deal, yeah. If you don't mind, that would be, I'm going to call that for June 18th via Zoom at 6:30. Oh, no, we talked about 6:30.
6:30, yep.
6:30.
So what's the purpose of
So
this
what
meeting?
date?
You know, I
It'll
thought
come
about
out on the agenda. What's that?
What's the date?
June 18th.
June.
So that'd be next Tuesday night. And Tony can create the Zoom link and all that.
So moved.
Motion been made by Mr. Cohen,
second.
seconded by Mr. Kemet. So any discussion in regards to that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. So we're going to put on a tentative, it should be what I would say is a quick 15, 20-minute meeting. I anticipate, unless there's something different between now and then.
Does the board still wish to meet on the 24th as well?
I think we have to do that for OCPC to be able to approve the meeting. So that would be an in-person meeting.
Can I also suggest that for the meeting on the 20th, right, 2 members of the planning board that I know of will be there. So if anyone else wants to attend, maybe we should post that as well.
That's a great suggestion.
So it would be the 20th, 24th, and the other one there.
Yeah,
You want us to put
the
on the 24th?
the 20th is going to get posted.
Okay.
The 18th will get posted.
Yeah.
And then,
Entertain a motion to have a meeting.
On the 24th.
A regular planning board meeting, Town of Hanson Planning Board meeting on Monday, June 24th, 2024 at 6:30.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Cohen. Is there a second?
I'll second
Seconded by Mr. Kemet. Any discussion in regards to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of having a regular planning board meeting on June 24th, 2024, Monday, here at 6:30 in the select board meeting room, if it's available. All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I oppose. Motion carries 5-0. So that's our June schedule.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn's on the table.
Second?
Seconded. Motion to adjourn by Mr. Kemet, seconded by Mr. Benonato. Any discussion in regards to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
State of mind.
It's 7:45. We are adjourned.
Yeah, take a break.